Okay, so Scuba Circuit, what were our times like? I know a lot of people have been asking. Well, today we are going to answer that. So the car went to the track on January 22nd. Few key things though, it was 38 degrees Fahrenheit and the driver was a friend of Unplugged Performance. Since I was not able to be there, it was Ken Nigoro. So Ken is a trusted driver of Unplugged Performance, so that is why we decided to go with him. But he is not a full-time racing driver. However, he is familiar with Tsukuba as he races his own car there. But he has never driven a Tesla before. And that actually was kind of interesting. So then on day 2, which was January 23rd, we had a different driver come out. He was a professional driver. His name was Rentaro Kubo. And so he's a driver for Lexus in a racing series called Super GT in Japan. So professional driver, but also never driven a Tesla. However, day 2, unfortunately, it rained. So nothing good was really acquired that day. But to bring it back just a little bit, and then we'll go into actually what the times was. So the car was actually stored at Autobox in front of Tesla and had no parts changed since SEMA and Auto Salon. So those of you that went to the show and saw it was the exact condition that it was raced in. It was taken to Tsukuba the morning of January 22nd. And it was an open track day with 20-minute sessions. And the driver actually was able to drive 6 laps and decided to become familiar enough with the car a little bit that they decided to go ahead and top the car up. And the charger at Tsukuba was broken. So they got a transporter and actually took the car a few miles away to a Chatamo adapter to top up. Again, huge thanks to the Tesla Owners Club of Japan for helping out with all that. Really massive shout out to you guys, and to come out and actually cheer on the car and everything. It was really great. Really appreciate all you guys. The car actually did put down a 1 minute and 4.7 second lap time. And we actually had a phone set up to record the lap time, which it did, but it fell out of its phone holder. So unfortunately, our view is only of the floor, but it did still record all like the G-forces, the turns and everything like that. So that was actually pretty cool, so we could analyze that and see kind of how the car did. So what all does that mean? Well, a 104.7 is an amazing lap time overall. It was less than 1/10 of a second different from a McLaren F1, which is the most iconic supercar ever made. Elon even owned one at one time, but the McLaren F1 actually did a lap in 1 minute and 4.62 seconds. Pretty darn close, 0.08 seconds away from that time. But let's go ahead and get into some of the details of the car and everything. So the tires were street tires. They were not race tires. They were a Michelin Cup 2, which is standard with like the Corvette ZR1, the Audi R8, Porsche GT3. It also had stock power levels. So there was no added power. In a Tesla, you really can't do anything. It's not like we can throw a turbo on it. Along with factory traction control enabled by track mode. And it also had factory weight. While we have done a little weight savings, it really wasn't a big enough weight savings to actually, I would think, qualify as a big difference there. And it could actually have factory ground clearance. However, we did lower it 1.5 inches from the coilovers, but you can actually adjust them so it is factory and everything. And the Ascension R body kit that we have on that doesn't actually go any lower than the factory body does. So nothing super aggressive for aerodynamics. It was really something that you could daily drive. It wasn't like a track only car. So kind of a good way to think about this is we basically did what AMG does to Mercedes, but unplugged in Tesla. So what was different? One of the big disadvantages on the lap time was due to the driver not being a professional. One of the biggest disadvantages was due to the driver not being a full-time race driver, like the types usually hired to set lap records, yet he still managed to get a very excellent time. He was a great driver, don't get me wrong, but when the McLaren F1 driver made his attempt and record, it was a professional driver. And the F1 also drove on a 74-degree day. We had 30-degree day. So big difference there. That can mean a lot. And our driver only had about 20 laps in a Tesla, and he set that time. He had never been in a Tesla, never even driven a Tesla, and they actually had to show him how to turn on track mode and everything.
Basically, once you put it into drive,
do you want me to do it?
so if you like put it in drive, for example, this will display the tire pressures once you do it. So you can go ahead and put it in track mode and just leave it there, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
So then it'll start to get the battery to the right temp range.
And to give you a little bit of context on that lap time, a Lamborghini Gallardo did a 1 minute and 5.0 seconds. An Audi R8 V10, the beefiest one pretty much they make, did a 1 minute and 4.9 seconds. A Porsche 911 Turbo 997 did a 1 minute and 5.2 seconds. And a Porsche 911 GT3 997 did a 1 minute and 4.8 seconds. So we fall in right in that category, but these cars are next level compared to what this Model 3 has become. So after Ken raced it on the 22nd of January, got a lot of good feedback from him. He thinks with more time, he could definitely run a low 1.3 or maybe even a high 1.02 with no difference in track conditions, just being more accustomed to driving it and getting used to it. And those times would line up with the fastest factory cars ever made. The Ferrari 458 Italia with 1 minute and 2.2 seconds. The Nissan R35 GTR with a 1 minute and 2.1 seconds. And the highest power and spec Porsche 911 Turbo S991 with a 1 minute and 2.4 seconds. And it would be absolutely phenomenal to see it run that. Now with semi-slicks or maybe even slicks, you might even be able to push about 2 seconds faster. That really wouldn't be a fair apples to apples comparison with those times I just gave you, because those were running street tires. So this whole opportunity was for us to see what the car can do and have some fun. We wanted to see what the capability of it was, and we definitely saw just that. A bunch of members from the Tesla Owners Club Japan came out to cheer the car on. It was great. Their help was so incredible, and really appreciate all of them that helped. And to go real quick over what modifications were done with the car, it definitely did help. Both drivers were actually praising what we had done to it. So the carbon ceramic brakes are a massive improvement over the stock brakes, just because you don't have to worry about overheating at all. No brake fade. You can stomp on those things all day and they are good to go. The sway bars helped with a reduction in body roll, which is massive. The coilover suspension, we were able to dial that into exactly what we wanted and exactly what we needed to be able to really push those lap times. Adjustable front and rear suspension arms, billet arms. The wing, I absolutely love that wing. That's honestly one of my most favorite parts of the car. Helps with downforce. Every little thing helps, but we didn't go so far that we couldn't make it a daily driver. And when I get the car back, I plan on driving it like a daily. I mean, it depends when my Y gets here and everything, but I have no qualms driving that as a daily driver. The coilover suspension, if I'm ever worried about it, I can just turn it up a little bit. And then when I go to the track, just drop the car. We didn't do anything so far that it wouldn't make it a street legal car. And that was our big thing here, is we wanted to keep it something that I could drive on a daily basis and not have to worry about anything that I would encounter basically on the street. So the car concept was to be a high spec factory option kind of build, kind of like the Porsche GT3 RS. And in doing so, like Tesla even had sales staff at Auto Salon, and they were basically using my car to help attract sales leads. And that just kind of goes to show you that in Japan, car culture is different than here in the US, and having a kind of like next level spec really does help. So hopefully they were able to get lots of sales leads, and Japan will see a big bump in Tesla owners in general, especially with those Model 3s and even Model Ys coming up. So that being said, I don't think we will have another chance at Tsukuba with the timeline and everything that we have going right now. But I am very, very happy with the time that Tesla put down. It is a phenomenal time, and especially considering that the driver never even driven a Tesla before. It takes time to get accustomed to each car's specifics, and to be able to go that fast on a car that's never been driven before, and the temperature the way it was and everything like that. Huge thanks to him for going ahead and putting that time down. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it for now. A lot of fun stuff in store for this car. I can't go ahead and reveal that all to you now though, because a lot of it's still in the works, but I can't wait to share that with you guys when the time comes. Definitely drop it in the comments below what you guys think. How do you think the Model 3 performed compared to the examples that I gave? And where would you like to see it race next? Kind of curious. I don't know. Maybe across the US, throw out some other countries. You never know what could happen. As always, though, huge thanks to our channel sponsor, Abstract Ocean. If you guys are looking to accessorize your Model S, X, or Model 3, definitely check them out. I'll link down below, and using code Tesla Inventory will get you 15% off your first purchase. My two must-have accessories are definitely going to be a center console wrap, just to protect that gloss black material that Tesla includes on all their Model 3s. It's very scratch prone and fingerprint prone, and a wrap will definitely help protect that. As well as a matte screen protector, it really helps cut down any glare from the sun, as well as keep any of those pesky fingerprints at bay. As always though, thumbs up if you enjoyed that video. Go and click here to subscribe here for some other ones. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.